Good morning, Run Talks. Good to be back. First time without the jacket on today. It's very warm here today in the UK. So today I want to talk to you about if you're not where you are, if you're not where you want to be right now in your life, in your business, then chances are you're putting value on the wrong things. Now, if you're somebody who maybe finds yourself going round in circles, repeating the same patterns over and over and over again, first of all, I can relate. Second thing I'll say is it's a common thing. It's a common thing, going round in circles. You find yourself keep maybe jumping from one business to the next, to the next, to the next. Or you find yourself going really hard and then experiencing burnout. Or you find yourself even having lots of ideas but never really starting. Procrastination, self-doubt. If you keep hitting up against the same wall over and over and over again, analysis paralysis, whatever it is for you, doubting yourself, self-worth, whatever it is for you, chances are you are valuing the wrong thing. Now, what the hell do I mean by this? Well, there are kind of three stages we really need to go through if we're going to transform our behavior, transform the way we see the world. So the first one is to resolve negative charges or negative emotions. So these are the negative emotions that are attached to the events of our past. You may have heard me talk about this before. And these are the things that we experience when we are triggered. Morning, Alan. So when you are triggered by another person, where you're triggered by an event, where you're triggered that something that happens in your life, this is when you're holding on to negative emotions. And these show up as anger, fear, guilt, sadness, hurt, shame. Many variations of those. This is the way they actually show up. So if you experience emotion of some kind on a regular and you're triggered by, let's say, for example, an ex-wife or an ex-business partner or a business partner or a wife or a task that you find yourself doing, you're going to experience these negative emotions. Now, you normally, here's the big thing. Some people are like, I don't really experience them. Well, you normally only experience these when you step outside your comfort zone. So if you're not experiencing a lot of these things, then you're not playing a big enough game. You're not stepping outside your comfort zone. This is why businesses are so powerful for revealing when we're not truly free, because they confront everything about us, especially in the early stages. Because they highlight all of the areas within us where we're holding on to these emotions. Now, there are many different ways to release these negative emotions. You can go out to the local woods, get into a certain state and scream it out, all of the past hurt, called the primal scream. You can do something called EFT, emotional freedom technique. You can do things like I'm trained in, like timeline therapy, where we reframe our past experiences. Some people refer to this as healing, but really it's about just getting a new perspective on what's happened in the past. And there's many different techniques out there which you can use to actually shift these negative emotions. Because what happens is when you change the way you see things, the things you look at change. And then you feel differently about them. That's all that really happens. The second part of this is we need to shift our limiting beliefs. Now, most people don't know the beliefs that they have. They have deep, subconscious, limiting beliefs, things that they've had for most of their lives, things that are just getting in the way. They're limiting their perspective. They're stopping them from producing the results that they really want to, which is number two. And number three, and this is the one I want to talk to you today, is about what you value. What do I mean by this? What do you value? So we all have values. We all have deep-seated values that we develop throughout our lifetime. Maurice Massey said they were developed by the age of about 21, whereas Claire Graves, this is the thing about psychology and the human mind, there's no solid evidence when it comes to the unconscious and all of this stuff, what is actually definite fact There are some science behind it, but it's not fully proven, so people are always arguing about it. So you have someone called Claire Graves, which has the Gravison model, and they have this idea that we move through different stages at different parts of our lives. For example, if you are in a relationship and then you have a baby, then what happens is your values shift. I don't believe that your values ultimately shift. I think you still have the same values you had growing up. I honestly believe that the priority of those values just changed. Certain things now become more important, i.e. family becomes more important when you have some kind of child. So think about self-sabotage. This is something that people talk about all of the time. Self-sabotage. I'm getting in my own way. I feel stuck. I'm not progressing. I'm not moving forward. I just don't know why. I must be self-sabotage. And it's a term that's often used in the personal development world, saying you're self-sabotaging your success. You're getting in your own way. Well, over the last week, here's what I've discovered, because I was using the term myself. There's no such thing as self-sabotage. There's no such thing as self-sabotage. You're always winning the game you're playing. Now, what do I mean by that? You're always winning the game that you're playing. So your mind is a highly intelligent piece of biochemistry and equipment. Let's call it equipment. It's a really powerful and intelligent piece of equipment. So it's wired in a certain way. So if you think about it, it's not like the brain is deciding one day, hey, I don't like these goals that you've made up for yourself, so I'm going to decide that I'm going to do everything I can to hurt those goals, to make you feel all these negative feelings, to make you feel toxic. No, because the mind's primary directive is to survive. The truth is, the mind doesn't care about your goals. It doesn't care about them. All it really cares about fundamentally is survival. So if it's playing the game, then it's playing the game that it's meant to in order to help you to survive. So there's no such thing as self-sabotage. Now, in saying that, for the purpose of what I'm about to share, I recommend we use this language. So if we're saying that we have ways in which we get in our own way, the question we have to first ask ourselves are, what are the ways? Because like with all of my work, everything is about self-awareness, and this is going to bring some self-awareness. I recommend you grab a pen and paper to do this. And what I want you to do is I want you to identify 5 ways in which you are self-sabotaging your results right now. Now let me just give you an example. An example that I might be self-sabotaging my goals and my results right now is, let's just say I want to lose weight. That's a goal. I put it out there and now I experience some kind of resistance because I'm like, oh shit, now I've got to do some work. So I put a goal out there. I want to lose, let's say 10, 20 pounds. Now, what is a way in which I self-sabotage? Well, one of the biggest things that I see in business owners is, and most people to be honest, because towards the end of the day, we get decision fatigue. So what do we tend to do? We settle for the junk. So the way I might self-sabotage is eating junk, fast, readily available food, whatever's available. This can be biscuits, can be crisps, whatever I can get my hands on at the end of the day. So this is the first way we self-sabotage. Now, what would be the value associated to that? So what would I have to value to do that? Well, what I'd have to value is speed, convenience, comfort food. Those are some of the things that I might value if I'm behaving in that way. Are you following me? Is this making sense? Let me know in the comments box below. So if I know that I'm valuing those things right now, consciously, now that's coming to awareness, then I get to shift that. And I can shift that with a decision. The other day, I was asked, at what point did you make that change? And I said, when I made a decision, that's when it starts. My partner's funny. We've got a wedding in 2 months' time. We're basically building a UK wedding in 2 months. Yeah, crazy, right? Lots of decisions. But the good news is last week we did 90% of it. So all good. She's like, hasn't been putting off the gym. She's been valuing comfort, the easy approach, Netflix, all of that stuff over getting in shape, getting into a health routine, right? So what does she do? We've got 2 months to the wedding. Bam! Her value shifts. She now decides that I'm going to value my health and having a great body and fitting into my wedding dress versus comfort. So she's up at 6:30 in the morning, getting ready to go to the gym. Amazing. Funny thing, isn't it? So the next question is, what's the action? What's the action or way of being that I need to be in order to actually create my goals? So for example, if the way I self-sabotage was about eating junk food and the thing I valued was speed, convenience, comfort, I might then say, well, what I need to be, what I need to value, what I need to be is organized. I need to prep my food for the week so that when I come home, there's a meal ready, or I go somewhere like Gusto or HelloFresh or one of these online food services where they deliver healthy food to your door, so you don't need to think about it. This is what I see with a lot of business owners. Don't want to think about it. That's why I have the other company, Entrepreneurs Gym. Work with businessmen and entrepreneurs. Makes sense, right? So now the action is that I need to plan my meal. I need to be organized. Now the fourth stage is, what do I need to value? What do I need to value? What's the value associated with that action if I'm taking that action? Well, of course, it's going to be my health, my body, taking care, self-care, self-love, whatever that is. And you can do this, I'm not just talking about for health and giving this as an example, but you can see, and you look in your own life, wherever you're not getting the results that you really want, we need to first understand and become aware, good morning Debbie, what are the values we're valuing through this behavior? And it will blow your mind, this exercise. I did this exercise and I discovered that one of the things I was valuing was chaos over organization. Chaos. What a crazy thing. Who wants to value chaos? Well, the reason that people value chaos is because and people overstretch themselves, people overbook themselves, people overcommit themselves, people leave things to the last minute. Because there's a payoff, there's a value which they value more than actually achieving their goals and doing and getting and having what they actually say they really want. So I'd love to go through this exercise, write out 4 columns. Column number 1, saboteur. Column number 2, associated value of doing that way of sabotaging. Value number 3, I've got my headphones in. Column number 3, what's the action or way of being you need to be in order to create your actual goal? And value number 4, column number 4, what's the value associated with that new behavior, that new way of being? And let me know what you get in the comments box below. Take a picture and send it to me. I look forward to actually seeing them. And let me know if this has been valuable, if you've really helped this. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Debbie. So until tomorrow, live with purpose, love deeply and fully with all your heart, and laugh every single day.